Okay, week 7 speed training, you go through your week 7 warm-up prep. When your plyo progression, you progress from the broad jump to the broad leap. So we're working on a single leg movement here, alternating left to right or right to left. Remember, you want to create the flexion through the hip and not the lumbar. Also, you want to store and release the hip, the energy created around here very quickly, make it elastic. In other words, don't lock in here and then push and go. You want to create a quick store and release action right there to take advantage of that kinetic energy. So a linear broad leap, what I'd have you do is I'd have you go with my guys, we did 8 leaps, 4 left to right, 4 right to left, measuring our distance, competing like that. So it'd be here, I'm out, I stick that, I'm loading, and then 4, that was 2 leaps in 5 yards, which is probably about average. But for the lateral one, I want to stabilize here again. I'm going to jump laterally right to left, land left, reset right next to it so you can have an active distance here. Out, reset, leap, reset, opposite down, come back, left to right, set, left to right, reset for the lateral movement. We make a transition today and this week with the lateral. Lateral work will become a little bit more intense as we add the exits to it. Very important that the guys understand the objective with the exit ladder. When you're training in the ladder, you're training for either quickness or eventually you'll see we'll get to some agility in the ladder, but we've just done quickness. Soft feet, quiet feet. When you transition out of the ladder, it's about speed and acceleration. So you go from soft feet to heavy force production, pushing back using your strength. So 3 patterns that we've trained before: the slalom, the buzzsaw, and the icky shuffle, all linear patterns to remind you what they look like. And the slalom is this. The buzzsaw is this with the right foot lead, this with the left foot lead, and of course the icky shuffle, keeping the body quiet, is right here. Now for all of those, you perform your ladder pattern for either 5 or 10 yards, whatever's good for you in your setup. The key is when you hit that last square, you're going to exit out a hard 10 yards. So you're transitioning again from quickness to acceleration and pushing and starting and using all those acceleration tools that we've used. So for example, if I was doing an icky shuffle, I'd be here. There's my acceleration out of that. So as soon as I leave the ladder, my objectives change, my body posture changes, my push changes. All of a sudden I've got a lot of hip mobility. I'm using my strength to get out of there. So that will apply. You'll obviously do several sets with that for each pattern. For the speed training, walk back sprint. So here's where we take acceleration and we make it somewhat dynamic and reactive. So what I do is I gave them the end zone, which is a 10-yard gap, say it's from this red to the second white. And they knew that, first handful of sets they were turning, they were sprinting to 10 yards up and eventually to 20 yards up. And I would dictate several things. I would dictate their tempo, which they're walking. This would be a walk 1, this would be a walk 2, walk 3. So, what I'm directing is how fast they're walking and what shoulder they're turning to, left or right, and how far they're sprinting out. So, obviously, the faster they walk, like if this is a tempo 1, it'd be here. And when I said go, they plant, change, redirect, and sprint 10. So they're reacting to my start call and they're having to decelerate, change direction, and go. Obviously the fast, like a tempo 4 would be this. So that'd be here, so they got to decelerate more force and then turn and sprint. So just change your tempos, change your shoulder turns. I may start and go, I may have them go 10 yards and go. They don't know they're reacting to it, so that's a walk back sprint. The linear PSU, this will be about a 40-yard setup if you can do it. So a cone, starting cone at the 10, the 20, the 30, and the 40. You're going to circle the cones at the 10, the 20, and the 30, and you'll sprint through the final cone. I've got a modified setup here. And so if I started here, I'd mix up whether it's starting right or on the left. Like right here, this is a 10-yard sprint. Sprint. Decelerate, shuffle around. So again, I'm shuffling around the 10-yard, the 20-yard, the 30-yard, and I'd sprint through the final one right there. I clock these and have these guys compete at that. Somewhere around 9 seconds is pretty good for 40 yards. Again, mix up whether on the right or the left. Try to get as deep as you can in that 10-yard sprint and trust your strength to be able to stop, decelerate, and shuffle around. Moving on to week 8, do your week 8 prep. Your plyo progression, you move from leaps to hops. So with hops, you're doing single leg action here, linear, lateral, medial. So my linear hops, of course, would be here. I get them on both legs. My lateral hop would be if I'm hopping outside the leg. Here, my medial hop would be if I'm hopping inside the leg. Don't dive here, load the hip. And I'm here, of course, still working on how you land, landing soft, landing clean on all those hops. Then you'll transition. After you rep out several of those for each direction, you'll move to the ladder. Today you're doing lateral quickness to an exit, same principles as week 7. So now you're taking the ollie shuffle, the bus on the trailer. Remember the ollie shuffle was this one, hips are flexed. Here's my action. The buzzsaw lateral was this one, in, out, out. The trailer, I'm gonna keep my back foot in, lead with my front foot, I'm quick left. And then of course I'd exit sprint out. If I was going to my right, I would lead with my right, keep my left foot in, exit sprint out. So the lateral movements just require you to get your hips open, turn and drive and push out for 10 yards right there. As you move on to your speed training, sprint pickups. Again, about a 40-yard stretch, cones at 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. You want to set down ball, baseball, tennis ball at the 10, the 20, the 30, and the 40. This is where you're going to sprint. And as you sprint by them, you're picking up. In this case, I was running on the left side. I would set it, I'll just show a couple here. If I would set here, I want to be able to sprint and with good body control, mobility, pick up and drop. And we did this for time. So, you know, I'd start at 0 and then as I'm sprinting by, I'm hopefully maintaining my mechanics there. Ideally, you don't want to have to slow down a lot. Some guys are fine, they'll have to really slow down. You want to maintain as much speed as you can and make that speed functional that you can pick up and drop. Of course, then you go to your other side, pick up and drop all the way through. I clock that, give subtractions if they don't pick up all 4 cleanly and make that transfer. The ice skaters, what you'll do there, this is training some lateral movement. You know, you probably use 6 to 10 balls. Just for the sake of this, I'm just going to show with 3 right here. So I'd probably set up, you know, this is about maybe 3 yards. You can stretch it out if you want. My objective is this, there'd be like a bucket or a cone right there where I'm getting over here, I'm reaching, picking up, and dropping, reach, pick up, drop until I get them all back over here. And of course I do both sides. So it looked like this, making sure flexion through the hip. I'd be here, pick up, drop in the bucket. Here, drop, here, drop, making sure I'm real clean. Of course I'd go to the other side. You can visualize it like a backhand. And you can mix up what hand you're doing as well with the pickup there. The lateral PSU for that one, we're using the same principles as the linear one. So if we make it lateral, so I'm going to shorten up the gap. Instead of 10-yard gaps, I use 5-yard gaps. And I'm shortening this up big time just for video here. But normally this would be about a 20-yard stretch. And you know, I'd start here. And let's just say for my sake right here, this is a 10-yard stretch, so you'd add 2 more cones on your normal path. I'm going to shuffle hard, circle, shuffle hard, circle. When I get to my last cone, I open my hips up and I sprint 10. But again, normally I would be circling this 3 to 4 cones before I finish with my 10-yard sprint. But I look like this, training the horizontal power, and lateral push would be here. Put feet around here. And you turn and sprint through right there. Again, extend your course for what's good for you.